And one of the toughest places for me too was relationships,
Yeah.
and it still is. It still is a really tough space for me. That also goes to unrealistic expectations. Yeah. I don't. If things get tough, I'll leave.
Yeah.
I heard you talk about fake intimacy once. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
What were you talking about it? I resonated with that.
So every child longs for connection.
Yeah.
We're just built. But if you can't get it, you try to connect with dad, but he's always too busy. Mom's always depressed or angry. You can't connect. So you assume it's my fault. I must be something wrong with me, but I'm still driven for connection, but I don't want deep, genuine connection now because that's always led to rejection. So let's try barroom intimacy. Let's try fake intimacy. Let's just have fun all the time and sports.
Pervert, and yes, pornography, that sort of thing.
Yeah, because it gives the feelings of connection without the true intimacy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't satisfy.
No.
But it sets up addiction. And that's where most people end up sadly straying into that fake intimacy world.
Yeah, do you think it's safe to say that complex trauma makes having a healthy relationship like it's got to have a huge effect, yeah?
Yes, very much. And
impossible even? No.
Makes it almost impossible for a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So everybody that I deal with, as long as they're single, they don't think they need to work on their trauma because, it's just me. I'm surviving. As soon as they get in a relationship, then they start damaging the other person. Then they have kids. They're damaging their kids. And all of a sudden they go, I got to start working on my crap. But then they go, okay, I'll just change this. I'll change this. But it's not working. Why is it not fixing the relationship? And it's because you're trying to fix the symptoms. You're not dealing with the root issues, that deep shame, that deep lack of trust, that deep fear of intimacy and fear of abandonment. And as long as those are still there, they're going to keep getting in the way of true healthy relationships. Wow. And so a lot of people, as long as the relationship's going along smoothly, it looks pretty good. But as soon as there's the slightest thing that triggers their fear of abandonment or triggers their shame, big explosion, they go back to old behaviors. All of a sudden they're in fight, flight, or freeze mode. They're lashing out, they're running away, and that's when all the damage happens. And after a while, there's so much baggage from all the damage that you just can't repair it.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I've had problems. I mean, certainly problems with not cheating in relationships. I think I've cheated in every relationship I've ever been in, sadly, let me think. Would have problems with sex and stuff, but if the person was going to leave me, then I could have, it was like my body would then entertain it, know? But otherwise, or if it was with a stranger, it was easier, you know? Not a complete stranger, like somebody at a mall or something, but like with somebody, a bar sex or somebody or something like that, or just somebody you met at a service area or whatever. But, that kind of stuff. Staying with somebody. Man, this staying with somebody, because I didn't want them to have somebody else who would really care about them.
Yes.
Or that could care about them better than me.
Yeah.
Even though I knew I was doing a bad job.
Yeah.
Man, it makes me feel, I'm not proud of that. And I didn't know, but a lot of it, man, I didn't know until later, I just couldn't see it. Yeah. I would just think I was bad at relationships for a long time. I would just think that, and I was just think that I was a philandering man, kind of deal, gypsy, whatever it is, I don't even know what they call it, gypsy boy or whatever. And then, but yeah, I was like, and I still don't know how I'm going to do it. Like if I think about like being in a marriage a long term, I don't know how I could do it.
Right.
You know, I mean, I know for a while I resorted to pornography for a while, and but that lost its. You know, I just learned through other 12-step just how negative it is for you, and so that's not a solution. I mean, I still date and everything, but I don't know if when I think about that, it's like, oh, that feels harrowing.
Yeah.
But it used to be like if I saw a family that was functioning, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is fucking the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That's where I started at.
Yes.
And that's a real thing.
Yes.
And to even get to the point now where I can even think about being in a marriage or something, for me, it's been a while, you know, it's been a ride, you know? Because here's where I found myself. I found myself in a place for me where I couldn't understand why I wasn't able to do certain things. Like, especially like with relationships and stuff like that. I kept thinking that it would change, and it just hasn't. It's gotten better. Things have gotten better. I'm a lot more aware. I don't make a lot of the same mistakes as I used to. I don't get people into situations that I'm leading them to believe that there's something that, you know, if there isn't some, you know, like, but I still have just a severe fear of a lot of it. And as you get older, it's like, well, how the heck am I ever going to have a family then?
Yeah.
You know, will I ever be able to have that? Or should I just, you know, keep to myself more, you know, not in a negative way, but in a positive, you know, it's like.
So I would, and I say this all the time to people that come to our program, there is hope, but be prepared. It takes a lot of work, and it's not a quick fix.
Yeah.
This is going to take a lot of time. Because this started in childhood, and you don't undo that overnight. But there is hope.
Yeah, I heard you talk on one of your. Thanks for saying that to me, and just to anybody that's listening, you know. And I believe that. I believe that when I go into meetings and you see guys that like 2 years ago were like addicted to prostitutes, and now they're getting married, right, and they're having children. It's like you see people change their lives, or guys who had never even been on a date in 2 years and were just addicted to pornography and didn't even realize they were addicted. It was just a pattern of comfort.
Yep.
I remember when I found my wiener, dude, when I was probably, I don't even know. Once I found something that could make me feel good.
Yep. Self-soothing.
You could play all the Madden you wanted. I was like, I had my own game.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying, dude? And I was 2-point conversion and all the time, bro. I was doing it. It was like, that was unbelievable to me. I would bike across town to go look at pornography at my buddy's house, going and digging up pornos over there. Man, it was just, because it was the first time I also had a relationship with a woman, even if it was just on a damn page or drawing. We had a dude who would draw you some ovaries or something for the weekend. Oh, thinking that my partner, a woman, if my girlfriend or whatever, if they did something wrong, then it was me doing it wrong.
Yes.
Like, oh gosh, if they're a little off or something, or they do things a way that people don't like, that's a reflection of me totally.
Yes.
You know, those are some symptoms that I had, you know.
So can I talk scientifically again?
100%. You can talk in any passage you want about it.
So to me, it's so interesting, especially living in the West, is so much of our dating and attraction in relationships is really what we've come to understand is the limbic or the emotion part of the brain and the chemical oxytocin, which is what makes me feel in love. And so that's released through when I see somebody pretty, when I touch them, when I kiss them, when I have sex. All of that releases those feel-good chemicals, and I feel in love. I feel it's going to last forever. I feel intimacy, though it's not true intimacy. It's the feeling of intimacy. So that's a great starting place for a relationship. The problem is you can't sustain that just through sex, just because you still got life. You got to communicate. You got to learn to accept and love and respect each other. But if you've never been taught how to do that, you don't. So you just keep trying to have sex, keep trying to have fun, but the feelings are dying. It's not releasing the same oxytocin. And so the relationship is designed to start there, but it's designed then to move to the cortex, which is the thinking part of the brain, which then releases all of the serotonin that comes through safety, through connection, through acceptance.
Wow.
And that's through building a life, working through issues, resolving problems, really respecting, trusting each other. That takes a lot of work. That takes time. And most people from complex trauma are scared to death to go there.
So the sex is just, or that intimate connection up top is just like a fuse kind of.
Exactly.
And then the other part is like a fire.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
But most try it with complex trauma. Just think I can live up here on the fuse.
Yeah, I'm a fuse monkey. I'm up here, yeah.
And that's going to be great. It just never satisfies.
Yeah, never. And then it's,
And then the second piece to me is what comes out of complex trauma. Are you familiar with the term gaslighting?
Yeah, but what does it mean? I always hear people say it, but I'm just too bored, or just too lazy to look it up, I think.
So if dad is angry, instead of him being honest and saying, I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day, you didn't do anything wrong, it's all on me, he goes, you're a bad kid, it's all your fault. That's gaslighting. He's twisting it and making you believe a lie. And so what happens in complex trauma is constant gaslighting of a child, so that whenever any parent or authority is having a bad emotion, the child is made to feel it's their responsibility to fix that emotion. No, it's not. They can't fix their dad's anger. Only dad can fix his own anger, but they're made to feel if they just did more chores, if they weren't making noise, if they were more agreeable, more obedient, then dad would never get angry.
Yeah.
But dad always gets angry, but you keep believing the gaslighting lie.
Yeah.
So now when you go into relationships, as soon as your spouse is a little bit sad, what did I do wrong? Oh, maybe I should do something here. Maybe I should do this. You still take responsibility for everybody else's emotions. And that sets up relationships to be codependent.